We just had an insane LEC finals weekend, and it culminated with one of the biggest results in years. We'll hold on the spoilers for now, but I promise it will be worth the wait. We have to start back on Friday when MKOI took on Fnatic. Hey, I'm Initialize. Let's dive in. After a precarious showing the weekend before, Fnatic were not coming into this series with anything resembling a clean sheet. Don't get me wrong, it was impressive how well they'd fought back from deficits against the likes of BDS, but getting into those holes in the first place was raising a lot of eyebrows, mine own included, especially when on the other side of the rift was MKOI, a team notorious for how fast they like to play the game. It also had a great series against GX to make it to this stage, including some impressive performances from the likes of Mirwin on a tank Vex and a 9-kill Nidalee out of Elioya in the jungle. Which is to say, it was anything but a guarantee that Fnatic would win this series. Hell, there wasn't even a guarantee they'd make it through the early game. Game 1 kicked off with a nail-biter of a game. Exhibit A, the fracas at about 16 minutes. There are flashes blown everywhere, oversteps on two sides of the map at once, and when the dust settled, you had a game that was no closer to being decided than before the fight began. On one side, Upset's Ezreal picked up 5 kills and a 2k gold lead, on the other, Mirwin's Cassante had 6 kills and a similar lead as well, all at about that 20-minute mark, and all the copy-pasta memes about Cassante you could ask for, all being very true. It honestly felt like MKOI had found the breakpoint though in the game when they secured Atakan and a great fight around Dragon, especially with a lot of standing gold to claim in the form of turrets, but Fnatic managed to hold on. MKOI even managed to take down half of the HP of the Nexus before a desperate base defense from Fnatic got them a Baron, Soul, and shortly after the game.
After? We don't end, no? Okay.
It was a catastrophic throw. The worst part, Jojo Pyun even threw out shade in all chat about Fnatic choking, just before failing to take the Nexus himself. You cannot make this stuff up. Set the tone for the rest of the series. Fnatic handily won Game 2 off the back of an excellent Varus showing from Upset.
All the way back, barrier in tow. Upset will find him with an auto. 2 kills for Fnatic, takes him down while Skritten starts sending out the needles. Snippy time. Humanoid sends some rocks as well. It's all about projectiles and the environment. But as we get away from global warming, we see Humanoid run over. It's shot again. Alvaro takes this. Trench line hits back though. It's a beautiful one. And from Mickey might have set it up. The burst coming in. And Jojo's about to dive. But Humanoid in the end. He's alive. He gets burned down and Jojo survives. Alvaro's the new target. Trench line misses as Oski now comes in. Ready to down. The wall is down and Humanoid separates Oscar in. And he might have to charge through while Jojo one-man ulties. Oscar in is isolated and he'll be taken first. Dragon now the thought for Koi. They're on top of it. Fnatic are bringing in the cavalry. Seismic shove away and Jojo cannot stay. 2k the steal. No, at 5. Razork has stayed alive and now Elioya is just going to follow suit. Shutdown after shutdown. Fnatic after Fnatic. They keep getting more. Fnatic on the chase here. They've got a Mountain Soul. They cannot. And Upset's damage is going to rip and continue to do exactly what Oscar did before. The needlework zones him out. A shove once more. Call of the Forge God from Mirwin will bow deck. Oscar is huge. And Upset as he walks forward might do the same thing. Who's going to die first? It's a game of catch and ball, but Koi must have forgotten how to catch it. In the end, Oscar Renan almost taking down Jojo, opens up mid, the pick on bot opens up bot, and Fnatic with 10.5k want to end it right here.
And then MKOI struck back in Game 3 with the definition of Calista Gaming.
Their flag and drag away. No, Fnatic are finding an angle and Koi need to find a better one on the Humanoid they see. Razork is in, the kick away so Super survive. It's still MKOI's game to lose, and they're going to win it with every part of their might. A decimating smash of Super now looks for his angle to come in, and with all that CC, an easy another kill. They are not throwing. Oscar in as well, looking for the flank while Elioya, a flag and drag, sets him in, and Oscar just doesn't want to be here anymore. The reverse Sional sends him down and interrupt with the Dragon's kick, but Razork is just steamrolled by Super. Yes, they will not be throwing a single thing. In fact, Fnatic
is going to stand strong.
Really nice stuff. The unstoppable onslaught at melee range. It tears Fnatic a new one. And Koi have dropped no margin in this game. They'll take the Atakan off the back of the fight, and Fnatic are looking clueless in this game. Game 1, Game 2, it was messy, but they found a road back in. It goes over the wall, Humanoid's caught out, Razork with a kick though, onto Jojo, he has the Spirit Rush away, but Razork's then caught out. Okay, we're back to square one. Koi run into the base and LEC happy to take this up. Never mind, it was a flash in the pan, however small, with the triple over to Super. Koi are going to keep the series running.
In the end, it came down to Fnatic sealing the deal in Game 4, as MKOI gambled with giving away draft boogeyman Skarner, and failing to manage the Scorpion. Fnatic's range and solid scaling alongside the mighty jungle Terror was too much for MKOI to handle, and their creative draft couldn't hold the line against the early leads Fnatic accrued.
Fog of War into the enemy, into an Impale as well. Super duper. On the Jay's going to poke out, and he means a bit of business now as well. He's going to chase this up, and onto Manwin gets the Sterix Gauge shield. That's big before a 5v5, and we speak of it, and Fnatic are turning the play. On bot, they've found Upset with an ulti, firing into LEC, and LEC's ulti doesn't hit. The knockback is big, and Upset, the new addition of Fnatic, is rolling over their reverse sweep chances.
Fnatic moved forwards, but they ran into a high wall. A blue one, specifically. Karmine Corp had been humbled in the upper bracket by G2, and community sentiment was flying all over the place. How would the rookies on the team deal with the loss? Kalista especially, right, after all the pressure and attention he'd garnered already. Had G2 managed to pick apart KC's drafts in a way other teams could also exploit? As it happened, K-Corp's fans needn't have worried. Their first 2 games were well-earned wins. Shout out to Kalista and Yike in Game 1. The Poke, Varus and Ivern were incredibly obnoxious, and a remarkable game from Vladdy on Hui in Game number 2. If you want proof that the Greek rookie is the real deal, that game was it. It wasn't entirely without strife though.
Can start to chase, and you're not getting away from this Ash. So instead, Razork tries to turn it. Targus not quite able to find the stun in the wall, but the fear is enough. Vladdy and Kalist, absolute tears in this fight. Upset getting run down, and here comes Kana. He couldn't find the 1v1, but he's there in time to support. And they've taken Rumble out of the fight. He was still able to ult. It's getting lower. The objective locked up, and they're not able to get it even with the Kalista. Yike manages to find the steal, and now Casey are feeling pretty damn good about the fight as Kana takes down Humanoid as well. It's getting lower. Mickey flashing over the wall. Full committing into the backline, trying to find Vladdy, but the fall just isn't there. Cloud Soul, now they're speeding towards Fnatic. Public execution coming up. Kana instantly to the backside. Humanoid going golden. It's Upset who has to make the difference, but it's Upset who's slowed. Upset who's getting run down. Upset who's been taken out. Razork has to go as well. KC dominating the fight. Fnatic thought 1 pick was enough, but it was not. Oscar chased down on the top side. Baron will not go to Fnatic. KC take the exchange and likely the game.
Fnatic thought they could take the Baron, but KC...
Fnatic very nearly held on in that game too, with another great base defense. And after the rest of playoffs, you can understand why people were getting just a touch nervous. Never count this team out. And oh boy, did they prove why. Humanoid ran wild in Game 3 on the Aurelion Sol.
What about Aurelion Sol?
Yeah, oh, man, we're going Aurelion Sol, guys.
This is what I've been waiting my entire life.
Look on the Sari. Okay, Sari. I'm ulting. Go Sari, guys.
I'm looking.
Holy.
You should be dead. Stop.
Look at me, Victor, guys. Victor. Is that?
Yeah.
We can admit?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, kill him.
Yeah.
Victor, wave, get the wave.
Take the next wave.
I can go for the next wave, maybe.
Yeah.
Get cooked.
While Game 4 saw Mickey X get his hands on the infamous Pike.
I can also pick it up with my... We are zoned off.
I'm very mad. I'm not dead, okay?
You can protect. Are you dead, Mickey?
Oh, I'm fine.
And despite a messy early game, he proved instrumental in combining with Razork's Vi to clutch a huge fight that earned them Atakan. Seriously, it's an ankle-breaking team fight from a Pike of all champions. Hats off to Mickey. All of this brings us to Game 5. Silver scrapes and a berth in finals on the line. And Karmine Corp stomp. It starts with an odd draft from Fnatic. An early lock-in of the Lulu only to pair it up with a Misfortune, despite the favoured pairings of hyper carries largely being available. Not great as far as I'm concerned, and I think another number of analysts also agree with me there. But a wonky draft is one thing, poor execution though, that is completely another. Razork dying for first blood in a disastrous early gank, and then Vladdy picking up a solo kill a minute later spelled utter disaster for Fnatic. Karmine Corp converted it into the cleanest win in the series. No miraculous comebacks this time.
Game Terror already feeling like he just does nothing. Blocks up Oscarin, and Oscarin now managing to ult. Even for Humanoid isn't too bad. 2 items for Upset. This is the Jarvan ult you talked about. They've locked down one target, locked him up under tower as well, and they're almost going to finish the kill. They will get Yankee flashes back in, but it's still just the withdrawal coming in. Vladdy. And now Vladdy ready to pop off, getting a decent amount of damage down on the first rotation of spells. Now going in, curtain call out. Humanoid likely to fall. Mickey X has the body block, but it doesn't matter. He just Upset cleansing. Yike going in, trying to finish the kill. Yike maybe giving away too much, but the Nexus is exposed. Kalist, plenty of bullets left in the gun. KC look likely to end it, but
And no rematch between Fnatic and G2. The times they were a-changing. Speaking of them, G2 are the European Titans. Feels like they have won more titles than some teams have played games in the LEC. They were the final boss, the great adversary, and they had just dispatched Karmine Corp the week before. It should have been business as usual. It was not. Game 1 started with a relatively matched pair of teamfight comps. Vi, Orianna and Ornn for G2 on one side, the Aatrox, Maokai and Taliyah on the other for Karmine Corp rounded that out, of course, on both sides with the ADCs and engaged supports that would work well in a teamfight scenario. In short, nothing super asymmetric and no wildly different win conditions from either team comp. It was a slow early game, but as the mid-game rolled around, things really kicked into action, and Karmine Corp started to come out on top. They built up solid laning leads in mid and bot. Despite an unusual deficit in top lane into the Ornn, KC were just hitting harder in fights. Yike's Maokai was a menace, and Caps had opted in for a very slow build of Roa into Seraphs, which really undercut the mid-game damage of the Shockwave combo with Scupon's Vi. As the discrepancies continued to build, it got harder and harder for G2 to pull off a combo, and easier for KC to counter with their own. Infernal Soul and Baron saw KC inexorably grind their way towards victory, with G2's every comeback attempt thwarted.
Rajal, rather the ult from the Ornn is disengaged from, Kana flashes and knocks down Broken Blade, and now he's got a reset. Fly, Kana fly! Watch the Aatrox with Infernal once again! Rock Europe 12, yes, Skumon got the Elder, but it doesn't matter! There was a steal, but I think he's forward.
10 seconds on Broken Blades.
Let's see. I've seen enough Nexus held. True Shot Rajal rather Chains of Corruption, Kralista down. He'll survive this Solar Flare, but as Zenith's Blade in, LeBrock trying to delay, Nexus is bare. He's dead, everyone respawning at half HP. Kalist is auto.
Then Game 2 rolls around, and G2 give up Rumble plus Skarner plus Yone to a red side Karmine Corp. You heard that right. What did G2 get in trade? Zyra and Blitzcrank. Look, in theory, double ADC plus Liandry's on that Zyra melts Skarner. But that assumes Karmine Corp don't press the big red button that is Skarner ult into a then unmissable Yone Fate Sealed and Rumble Equalizer. Add in an Ashe and an Alistar, and the setup for a wombo combo was going to be utter misery for G2 to avoid. And utter misery it was. The lane swap goes in favour of K-Corp, getting kills on both sides of the map at once, while Labrov really struggled to cleanly execute picks on the Blitzcrank. A strong play around tier 1 top, claiming the majority of the grubs just before it, gave hope for G2, but eventually they were just going to have to teamfight. Said teamfight happened just after, as G2 braved the river to try and contest Dragon Soul, but Karmine Corp were ready and waiting. they get Seoul. They get a pick as G2 were bounced around by all the CC, and then they got to reset into Atakan. After that point, KC could do no wrong. With no vision to work with, G2 were consistently being picked off by all of the CC that Karmine Corp had available, and it led to a brutal sequence of Seoul into Atakan into Baron, all of which were active on KC at once. It was a 5k Baron power play, and G2, well, they had nothing left to say.
Hook onto Kana, so close, the arrow misses though. A relief for G2 as the flip doesn't work from Broken Blade either. Caps tries to poke, but Kana's is just that much more influential. Caps is running down mid though with a minion wave. He'll have the inside track and objective bounty. But KC, 10 seconds till the Elder spawns. They still have the river to themselves.
They don't really have a great engage though. Targamas needs to go for the flash, pulverize if he wants to set it up, but Vladdy now in mid.
And they're on the wrong side as well. Broken Blade already chunked to half HP. Yike zones him up. Targamas jumps on in. He'll be hooked in, but the Unbreakable Will makes it hard as the Equalizer is down as well. G2 running for their dear lives, which they'll have none of as Kalist takes one away. Hans Summer in the ground again. And G2 still being slowed. KC have every single tool in their arsenal to make sure that they go no. Broken Blade is separated from his mid laner. Vladdy gets ulted out. It's a Broken Blade ult that does a lot of work itself, and Vladdy needs to heal up and does so now while the rest of the fight is going too well for KC. It's just gold at this point for the blue wall.
G2 are throwing their bodies into that blue wall, hoping against hope that something...
With an Elder to seal the deal, it was 2-0 for the blue wall. Now, I break down game 3 for you, but really, there's only one moment you have to see. 19 minutes on the clock, and Targamas sets up Kana for one of the most spectacular Gnar ults in LoL esports history. A 5-man slam into a full ace shatters what had been a close game. Definitely not anymore.
Not done yet. Great ulti from Yike as well. Death Sentence on the Dragon, but it's again the Smite King of Winter. Oh my God!
Cop the old school BLG emote spam by Vladdy just after as well. It's a shout out to another brutal combo that rocked G2's world. Bin's GP play all those years ago has another contender. Vladdy, well, he damn well knew it. It was a riotous, defiant end to the series for Karmine Corp. From being defeated by G2 in the upper bracket to 3-0ing them in finals. From 10th place finishes in 2024 to LEC's first ever first stand representative, Karmine Corp end winter split in historic fashion. Allez le bleu. See you next time, folks.